You know, being a 50s California kid, I think it's sort of, must be in the water, or in the nature of being raised in California or something. Frankly, I can't remember a time when I wasn't interested in motorized vehicles. I had an auto shop teacher when I was a high school student in Auburn, California. He taught me some of the fundamentals of the internal combustion engine and things of that nature, and perhaps he was one of them that sort of inspired me to keep fooling around with them. Going back, I can still remember when I was in high school, our little club, we used to go down sometimes and visit George Barris and his brother Sam had a little shop down in Sacramento. That's when they were first starting out, and look how famous they've become. So I had some inspirational moments when I was, really early on from people who were already on their way up and building very, very exotic vehicles. The car culture is kind of, they have one commonality. They like to see other people's cars too. They may specialize in, maybe sports cars or street rods or old classics or whatever, but they all enjoy looking at each other's cars. I think that's what makes the car show so much fun. It's just that kind of camaraderie, that everybody enjoying each other's ride. When you build something and you take it and show it off and you have people looking at it saying, ooh, look what they did here, look what they did there. It's kind of fun. Or putting in a parade and having people wave, that's the fruits of your labors, I suppose. But if you never did any of that, I think the real car aficionado would still enjoy just being out there tinkering with a thing. Maybe I was a little unusual when I got to Congress because I had that interest in motor vehicles, and my cousin had raced stock cars when he was younger, and so I was kind of always around them and just always liked them. And when I was in office in Washington, we formed what's called the Motorsports Caucus. It was just a bunch of congressmen and senators who had that common interest. And those groups, those caucuses, become sort of pressure groups to try to protect people in the private sector who have your same interest in that industry or that avocation by watching out for legislation that might be detrimental to the hobby or supportive of the hobby. Most of the people who enjoyed the motorsports in Congress, they tended to be a little quieter about it than me because they were worried about the image of being in overalls underneath an automobile instead of on the golf course. And the problem, I think, with the Congress, and particularly the Senate, is that according to some, you don't look senatorial with grease under your fingernails, or if you're interested in calling changing oil a form of recreation. Titles and honors are wonderful, but it shouldn't change you. You ought to just go on and be the same kind of person afterwards that you were before, it seems to me. I'm sure there are a lot of other people that are a lot more deserving of this honor than I am. And I could probably name 10 or 15 just off the top of my head, people who have really committed themselves to a lifetime of making the motorsports industry a better industry. I don't know, somebody up there must have looked down and smiled at me and said, well, it's time for you to be honored.